So long to Normality Scene 12. The next few days were almost normal as one day flowed into the next and then the next without much notice except for the continued absence of Christopher and his sweetheart, Meg Jin. Christopher did call home and spoke with Ma, but Pa, he weren't home when Christopher called, so Pa missed out getting to yell at him that time. That one call was the only time Ma has been out of bed for the last couple weeks. Dr. Wilson has taken to coming over every day, and some days he shows up more than once, usually around eating time. Lots of ladies from church have come by bringing food over, and I think Connie is most happy about that, cause she ain't hardly had to cook since Ma got sent to bed. Mostly she just heats stuff up, puts it on the table and we scarf it down. Pa says that Ma has to hurry up and get better, cause soon he is going to get so fat from eating all the pies that keep showing up that he ain't going to be able to fit into none of his clothes no more. To be honest, for the last couple weeks, I have been so busy that I've not been able to get into too much trouble. When I ain't been at school, or up in my room trying to catch up on my school work, then I, along with everyone else, have been helping take up the slack farm work that Christopher normally does. Pa has said a number of times, that fool brother of yours picked the worst time to run off and get married. He's been saying that cause it's harvest season and it takes all us to get it done. Even with all that going on, I was still able to find some time to buddy around with Nugget. He's even come over a few times to help around the farm. I ain't said nothing about it, but I think he is sweet on my sister, Catherine, cause he gets all goofy whenever she is around. Pa and me taught Nugget how to drive the tractor. I think that is his favorite thing ever to do. I also showed him how to milk a cow and how not to get pecked to death by the chickens. Surprising enough, Nugget's pa and Ma came over last weekend to help out. Nugget's pa turned out to be a really hard worker and was no stranger to getting dirty. His ma took to taking care of our Ma, along with Karen's help they got everything ready for when the baby comes. Bassett was around too, but mostly he just stayed with the limousine except for when Mr. Goldberg fell while trying to get up into the hay wagon. That's when Bassett decided he needed to stay closer to Mr. Goldberg, just in case. Now you might have noticed that I said that I ain't been able to get into too much trouble. I couldn't say that I didn't get into none, cause I did get into a little bit of trouble. My brother Vincent and I got into a fight one afternoon. He was being so dang mean to me, but only when no one else was around. I figured out for myself that he was only doing it when we were alone so that he wouldn't get into trouble again. I wanted to tell on him, but I figured that Ma and Pa had enough worrying and they didn't need me adding to that too. Well, the other day I was in the barn with him and he called me a name so bad that I don't even want to write it down here, cause the paper might just burst into flames. When I said I was going to tell on him, he punched me in the belly, which knocked the wind right out of me. You best believe that I was powerful mad after that, and Vincent Lee, he shouldn't have turned his back on me. He should have known that I was going to get him back, and boy did I ever. Soon as I could breathe again, I leapt on him like a wild animal. He fell face first into one of Mabel's fresh-baked cow patties. The two of us were punching, kicking, and rolling around inside the barn until Pa came in and stopped us. Even after Pa jerked me off Vincent Lee, I kept trying to fight more until Pa lifted us both by the seat of our britches, carried us out of the barn and dropped us right into the pig's watering trough. That put an end to our fighting, mostly cause I couldn't hardly move now that my diaper was waterlogged and weighing me down. When everything was over, Vincent Lee had a bloody nose, a fat lip, a sprained finger from me trying to break it off, and one of his bottom teeth was loose. Amazingly enough, I only had one sore eye that turned black later that same day. Boy, Pa really was mad and yelled at us both, but he didn't send us to our room and we didn't get spanked. My bottom was healing up right good, but still, if Pa had spanked me I knew it would hurt so much, but it would have been worth it, cause Vincent Lee had it coming. The next morning, while I was taking my bath before school, Pa came into the bathroom and we talked. He couldn't believe that I got the better of Vincent Lee, but he said I ain't allowed to tell no one that he said that. Pa also done told me that he knew Vincent Lee had been teasing me, but he didn't say or do nothing cause he figured I was getting grown enough that I needed to stand up for myself. He also said that he supposes Vincent Lee had been feeling left out, cause Ma, Christopher, and me were getting so much attention. I ain't sure I buy into that, but I guess maybe Pa could be right. Before he left me to finish my bath, Pennsylvania also told me he was proud of me and that he loved me. Then he reached into the water. I thought he was going to pull the drain plug, but instead he took hold of my ankle and tugged on my leg, causing my head to go under. When I came back up, he was hightailing it for the door, laughing as he went. I'm gonna get you for that, Pa. I chuckled as I wiped the soap from my eyes. Ever since our fight, Vincent Lee and I been best of brothers again. He never did tell me what was eating at him, and I didn't ask. I guess I have accepted PA's explanation, and now I am just glad Vincent Lee ain't being mean to me no more. Probably the most talked about thing to happen in the past couple weeks was when my best friend, John Joe, you remember him, I told YA about him before. Anyway, John Joe got himself caught in his zipper when he was peeing back behind the church when he was supposed to be in Sunday school. Well, he says he was peeing, although I think he might have been up to something else, but I better not say what. Ma says it ain't right to spread rumors about someone, so I suppose I will keep it to myself, but I will say that he weren't the only one playing hooky from Sunday school class that morning. I am sure you know what I mean when I say that he got himself caught in his zipper. He had to get 3 stitches from Dr. Wilson, and after getting stitches twice in my backside, I got an idea how embarrassed John Joe must a been. Now, if you ask me, I think that should have been bad enough for John Joe, but it got worse, and I don't know why, but just this very second I started hearing the preacher inside my head preaching about how God don't ever give a person more burden than he can carry. I guess that popped into my head, cause poor John Joe, he sure got a heavy dose of humiliation, to be sure, cause the whole dang town knows what happened. I mean, when it happened he yelped so loud folks in the next county could hear him. Now John Joe can't go nowhere without someone saying something about it to him, and he weren't in church this past Sunday, and neither was his ma and pa. I expect they got a dose of humiliation over it all too. Anyway, I done been over to see him twice already, and he says he is fine, but he walks like he has the worst case of diaper rash in history. But you best believe I didn't laugh none at him, and I think he was grateful for that much anyway. This morning, when I got back to the bedroom after taking my morning bath, Connie was there getting my dear Perrin things ready. She already had my school uniform laid out for me. Morning, I said to her. Good morning, small fry, Connie said as she turned and smiled at me. Vincent Lee was still getting dressed too. He was standing there in his underwear and socks and was pulling his shirt over his head. Morning, he said from inside his shirt. Eek, it's the headless underwear monster, I teased. Karen walked up to me, took hold of my chin and announced, your eye looks a lot better today. From behind me I heard, too bad his face isn't any better. I spun around and saw Nugget standing there. Hey, you ain't supposed to be here yet, I said with surprise. Yeah, well, good morning to you too, Nugget said. Oh sorry, good morning, I said offhandedly, but you ain't supposed to be here yet. Bassett had to take my father into work early, so my mother is driving us to school today, Nugget said. As she was passing Nugget, Connie messed up his hair and said, good morning Nugget, and bent down and kissed his cheek. Hey, how about evening it up, he said with a grin and pointing to his other cheek. Karen kissed his other cheek and grinned like a big goofball. Oh, okay, I said, accepting his reason, and dropped my towel. You might think it odd that I would just go around naked with Nugget right there in the room, but for the past couple weeks he's become one of the family. Besides, we've seen each other naked a couple of times now. He's also seen me in just diapers and getting changed too. The most recent was yesterday after the two of us got into a pig slop fight. It was all in fun, but boy, we got dirty. Connie laughed when she seen us covered head to toe in pig food and made us both strip on the front porch, him to his underwear and me down to my diapers and plastic pants. She then proceeded to hose us down right there before sending us up to take a bath. Heck, even his pa, ma and Bassett know about my diapers. Ma told them for me 'cause she was worried that they might think I was sickly or something. So now you see why I ain't bothered by Nugget being in my room while Connie diapers me and helps me get my uniform on for school. Where is your ma? I asked as I got on the bed. Down visiting with your mother and the doctor. He said, picking up my towel that I'd left lying on the floor. Over the past couple of weeks I've learned that Nugget has one really big quirk, he's a neat freak. You should see his school locker, it's organized and labeled for each textbook. Aside from that, he's just as normal as anyone else that has a fake hand. Doc's here already? Vincent Lee asked while zipping up his pants. He pulled in when we were getting out of the car. Nugget said, handing the towel to Vincent Lee, who in turn tossed it into the laundry basket. You come in that long car again? Vincent Lee asked. Nope, Nugget answered quickly. Vincent Lee invited him to have breakfast here by asking, so why are hungry then? Why don't the two of you head down and we'll be down in a minute, Connie said. Hey, and you might want to stop by the bathroom and comb your hair again. Vincent Lee said to Nugget with a grin. Karen swatted at the two of them with my diaper and they took off.